Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shilakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatde Satarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratise Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taruvesha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnamebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tamaham bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Hare Krishna. Yes. So what did anyone remembers? What did we discuss last class? Yes. Anyone would like to say something? Yes. Sunita Mataji would like to say something.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad.
Yes, Dandavad.
Yes, Prabhuji, in last class we discussed when Dhruva Maharaj came crying, running to her mother Suniti. So, what should be our disposition in reversal situation? So, the 3 points you explained. That first, that we should not desire anything wrong, even if someone has done wrong to us.
So why we should not desire something wrong if someone has done something wrong to us? It's natural, right? Something which is natural. If someone gives me a very bad remark or insulting remark, it's natural. It's a natural urge of a human being to give back tit for tat. So why I should not desire? He has done already a wrong thing.
Because if we desire anything bad for others, it will eventually come back to us only.
Okay, it's eventually going to come back to us. Okay, that's very good. That's what we are discussing. Yes, very good. So Mataji is telling that we discussed about the right disposition, about what we should do in reversals. So the first one was we discussed that how we should not desire anything wrong. Ma amangalam. You remember the verse part? Ma amangalam. Don't desire any amangal for those who have done some amangal to you. This is one thing we discussed the first thing. Yes. Anyone else? Udit Prabhu.
The second acronym was A, accept the reversal on our head. So whenever anything bad is happening to us, we should take the responsibility of it, and we should think that we are so unfortunate that we didn't get the opportunity to come closer to Krishna before, and this is happening because of my own karma.
So next is we understand that this is happening because of one's own karma, and don't do that. And the last one, what we discussed?
Devote to Hari.
Yeah, devote to Hari. Devotion to Hari. And in the devotion to Hari, what was the most important point we discussed that Suniti is telling?
We should not be envious.
Yeah, we should not be envious. That's the most important aspect of devotion to Hari. It's a very, very important aspect. This is what is the difference between Hari's devotion and the devotion to the demigods. In devotion to the demigods, you can still have your envy within the heart and still be successful. But in devotional service to Hari, you have to first give up envy. That is the thing. So, or you have to have an understanding that I cannot be envious and simultaneously be able to please the Supreme Lord. I have to give up my envy. Okay, today or tomorrow I have to give up this envy. Then our devotion to Hari will become very steady and strong. Okay, anyone else? Selja Mataji was raising hand, and I think Lalit Prabhu is also raising hand. Yeah.
No, it's already answered.
Okay, it's already answered. Yes, Lalit Prabhu was raising hand.
He gave 3 instructions to Dhruva.
Yeah.
Worship Lord Krishna and with better than Uttama. Shukti is right.
Yeah, correct. And you remember we discussed one very important sloka from Bhagavad Gita. Anyone remembers that sloka? Right? We discussed a sloka from
Chapter 8, verse 28.
Yeah, the chapter 8 verse.
Advaita Sarva Bhutana.
No, Advaita Sarva Bhutana. No.
It was
8:20. Vedeshu Yajneshu Tapassu Chaiva Danesu Yat Punya Phalam Pradishtam Atyeti Tat Sarvam Idam Viditva Yogi Param Sthanam Upeti Chatyam. So Krishna says that one who does devotional service to me, he gets all the benefits of Veda, those who worship Vedas, those who do yajnas, those who do dana, those who do tapasya, and also tat sarvam. He also gets much more higher, and we discussed out how devotional service offers something higher. What is the higher thing devotional service offers? It offers purification of heart. Along with all the results, devotional service offers purifications of heart. All other processes also can offer material benedictions like worshipping the demigods and doing all what is mentioned in this verse. But devotional service is very special. We have to understand that by devoting oneself to Hari, one becomes a very, very gentlemanly person. Right? Okay. And once you become a gentlemanly person, you come to an understanding that this world is not fit place to stay. And then you understand that moksha, I must go back to a place which is surrounded by gentlemen. So one who devotes to Hari in this way completely gets detached from this world. Right? How one gets detached from this world? This world is designed not for the gentleman. And one who worships Hari, he becomes a gentleman. And then he finds like a swan in the class of the crows. Okay. How many of you have seen that sometimes after practicing devotional service, we find ourselves very uncomfortable in this world. We find as if I am trying to be a swan among the crows. And I am speaking something like, I remember when I used to go home, and then there will be discussions and all, and then they'll put the television, and in the television some news will come, and in the news some announcement will be there, and my father and my mother, such announcement happened, and I would be like normally sitting without any expression in my face, and my father will be so concerned. This ISKCON is making you stone-hearted. There are no emotions in your heart. You know, such a thing happened, such a news happened, and you are not. I said, what? Okay, that news has happened. What I will do? That news happened in that place. What am I going to do with that? No. Your training is improper. What they are doing? They are brainwashing you. And now also when it's not that I don't want to talk with my family members, relatives and all, but somehow or other they do not have anything to talk with me spiritual, and I do not have anything to talk with them material. So it becomes a difficult situation for a devotee after some time, and then a devotee thinks that this place is not a fit place for me to stay among all these people. I must find out my right place in spiritual world. So in this way, devotee becomes very eager. When I will go and be among the Paramahamsas in the spiritual world. In that association, that's what we'll see how Dhruva Maharaj also prays like that. Because Krishna says to Dhruva Maharaj, go back and rule your kingdom. You asked to rule the kingdom. And Dhruva Maharaj, now he is purified. I says, no, I don't want to go. There will be Suruchi, there will be all the king, and there will be my father. I don't want to now associate with them. And Krishna said, you only desired. Now you are saying you don't want to go back. No, I want to be along with those devotees who do not have any desire for this material world. They only want to glorify you. This is what is the greatest blessing that one can get, that one can lose all attraction for this world, right? Recently, I was hearing one class by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. In that class, Maharaj was telling about pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There was one Brahmana, and this Brahmana was a very great Brahmana. He was very good in following all the principles of Brahmana. He was very famous in Navadvip. And he came in the evening to Srivas Angan, where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to perform his pastimes, and he knocked the door. And Srivas didn't open because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had strict instructions that no one can be allowed except this is the list. Like you make a program and you make a list. These are the people who has to be invited, no one else. And this Brahmana was knocking, but no one opened, and this Brahmana became enraged. He became very angry. You are not opening, you don't know who is the guest that has come, and you are doing like this. The next day when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he understood from other people would have said, neighbors of Srivas Thakur would have said, no, Lord Nimai Viswambhar has said that you cannot enter. He has made a list. So then in the next day morning when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to take bath, this Brahmana was there. He had already taken bath, and he took his, he was so angry. He took his Brahman thread and he cut his Brahman thread in front of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, I curse you that you will lose all interest for material life. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately put Dandavat to that Brahmana and said, wow, what a blessing. And as soon as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put Dandavat to this Brahmana's heart got melted. You see, this is the process of how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu employed to deliver the fallen souls of Kali Yuga by becoming humble. Because the fallen souls of Kali Yuga are very proud, like this Brahmana, thinking that they have got some degree like IIT, IIM. That time Veda degree was there. I have read one Veda fully. I can recite 2 Vedas fully. Like that time the Brahmanas would be proud like that. I can completely recite the Rig Veda. Oh, Rig Veda. Wow. And then another Brahmana will say, Rig Veda. I can recite Rig and Sam completely. Another will say Rig, Sam, Atharva. So Vedi, Dvivedi, Chaturvedi, Trivedi, like that they used to have all different names, and they used to fight and quarrel. These Brahmanas. So similarly nowadays people are also IIT degree, IIM degree, this degree, that degree, I have done from MS, I have done from this particular college, and then this material ego increases, And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is simply falling flat that, oh, thank you for the blessings. So one has to understand it's a great blessing to lose attraction for this material world, which is simply a illusory show. It's an illusory show. So we see Dhruva Maharaj. Today we will see that Suniti is telling that you devote yourself to Lord Hari. Now Dhruva is asking a question. Oh, so what do you think? I will devote myself to Lord Hari and then I will be born in that womb of that vile woman? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, is this what you want? Is this what is your instruction? That I have to take birth again from that Suruchi and from that father who is so attached to this vile woman, wicked woman? This is what you are telling me, my mother? And then you are understanding what Dhruva's inner heart is. Dhruva is telling you, okay, your instruction is good and it is matching with my mother. So, the next step is also matching, that I have to take birth from her womb. So now you see what is going to speak. This is the verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All of you repeat. Yashyangri Padmam Paricharya Vishwa.
Yashyangri Padmam Paricharya Vishwa.
Vibhavanayatta Gunabhipatte.
Vibhavanaya Atagunabhipatte.
Ajodhatistat khalu parameshthyam.
Ajodhatishtat khalu parameshthyam.
Padam jitatma swasanabhivandyam.
Padam jitatma shvasanabhivandyam. Okay,
translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Suniti continued, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so great that simply by worshipping His lotus feet, your great grandfather Lord Brahma acquired the necessary qualifications to create this universe. Although He is unborn and He is the chief of all living creatures, He is situated in that exalted post because of the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom even great yogis worship by controlling the mind and regulating the life air. Purport. Suniti cited the example of Lord Brahma, who was Dhruva Maharaj's great-grandfather. Although Lord Brahma is also a living being, by his penance and austerity, he acquired the exalted position of creator of this universe by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. To become successful in an attempt, one not only has to undergo severe penances and austerity, but also must be dependent on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This indication had been given to Dhruva Maharaj by his stepmother and was now confirmed by his own mother Suniti. So, Suniti Devi is speaking to Dhruva and telling that, oh Dhruva, you see Brahma, who is your great-grandfather, your father is Uttanapad, grandfather is Manu, and great-grandfather is Brahma. He has not taken birth from Suruchi. He didn't even take birth from any woman. He directly came out from Krishna, and Krishna gave him such a post. So why you are thinking that if you do devote yourself to Hari and then Hari will bless you and then you will have to take birth from the womb of that woman? Hari is so powerful, don't underestimate his power. he can just give you that post. Brahma doesn't have to take birth from any lady. She is so special, and he has been given that position, and he is unborn. Unborn in the meaning that he is not born with the conventional ways of birth, correct? So he is unborn, Brahma is unborn, and he has been given that post. So why you are thinking like this? Now Dhruva Maharaj will say that, okay, Brahma is very, very special, I am not that special. So how can you tell me some person who is not like Brahma, who has also got post? Then Suniti will tell about Swayambhuva Manu. Swayambhuva Manu is definitely not like Brahma, but he also got the post. See. Tatha manurvo bhagavan pitamaho.
Tatha manurvo bhagavan pitamaho.
Yame kamatya purudakshiner makhe.
Yame kamatya purudakshiner makhe.
Ishtva bhipede duravapamanyato.
Ishtva bhipede duravapamanyato.
Bhaumam sukham divyamathāpavargam.
Bhaumam sukham devyamathāpavargyam.
Tatha manurvo bhagavan pitamaho. Yeah.
Tatha manurvo bhagavan pitamano.
Yame kamatya purudakshiner makhe.
Yame kamatya purudakshine markhe.
Ishtva bhipede duravapamanyato.
Ishtva bhipede durvapamanyato.
Bhaumam sukham divyamathāpavargyam.
Bhaumam sukham devyamathāpavargam.
Yeah. Suniti informed her son, your grandfather Swayambhuva Manu executed great sacrifices with distribution of charity, and thereby with unflinching faith and devotion he worshipped and satisfied the Supreme Lord. By acting in that way, he achieved the greatest success in material happiness and afterwards achieved liberation, which is impossible to obtain by worshipping the demigods. You see what? Very nice purpose. The success of one's life is measured by one's material happiness in this life and liberation in the next. Such success can be achieved only by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The words ekamatya mean concentrating one's mind on the Lord without deviation. This process of undeviating worship of the Supreme Lord is also expressed in Bhagavad Gita as Ananya Bhak, Bhajanti Mam Ananya Bhak. Sadhurevasya Mantavya is also mentioned here. Other source refers to demigods. It is especially stated here that the opulence of Manu was due to undeviating faithfulness in the transcendental service of the Lord. One who diverts his mind to worshipping many demigods to obtain material happiness is considered bereft of intelligence. If anyone wants even material happiness, he can worship the Supreme Lord without deviation, and persons who are desirous of liberation can also worship the Supreme Lord and achieve their goal of life. So the first principle that is being spoken here, we will do something in the whiteboard so that you're able to understand. You want any success in life, success comes by satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. When the Supreme Lord is satisfied, then you are successful. So if you want to really satisfy the Supreme Lord, then you have to actually, you will get all success. So those persons who are desire of any success, be it material success or spiritual success, one has to satisfy the Supreme Lord. This is the first thing that Suniti Devi is telling, that don't worry, that you are thinking that if I satisfy the Supreme Lord, then I have to be born in the womb of that lady Suruchi, and then I will be made king. Was Swayambhuva Manu born from Suruchi? Is Brahma born from Suruchi? Brahma is not born from any lady. Swayambhuva Manu was not born. Swayambhuva Manu just came out from Brahma. If these people who are not born from the womb of Suruchi, why do you think that you have to be born from Suruchi? Is our Lord Krishna so powerless? He is so powerful that anyone who does devotional service like Brahma and Swayambhuva Manu, then one can achieve everything in life. Right? So now what is the next question? Anyone guess the next question that Dhruva will have? This is answered. Yes, Suruchi is telling that worship Supreme Lord. Then Suniti, mother, you are telling worship Supreme Lord. But the difference is, Suruchi is telling worship Supreme Lord, become my son and get the kingdom. And Suniti, I am telling you, just worship the Supreme Lord, you don't have to become a son. Yeah, so what's the next question? Any guess?
How to worship Supreme Lord?
Okay, how to worship Supreme Lord. Okay, that is most obvious, but little more thought process. You can put little more thought process.
Prabhuji, she might have told that if you worship Supreme Lord, whatever you desire, you get more than that.
Okay, he will get
beyond your desire.
Okay, we will get more than that. Anyone else? What benefit will I get by worshipping? Okay. So actually, this statement, if you see this statement which I have written, so to substantiate this statement as a testimonial, what Suniti Devi is telling. So Suniti Devi is telling, to substantiate this statement, the examples of Brahma and Manu, right? Correct? So what is the next obvious question?
So how to satisfy Supreme Lord?
Okay, how to satisfy the Supreme Lord? Okay. What is the next obvious question? How to satisfy the Supreme Lord? Think. Because you see, this is how you should read Srimad Bhagavatam. I am just trying to help you how you should read Srimad Bhagavatam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. How I become Ajanma?
How I become Ajanma? Okay. Vihari Govind Prabhu is telling, what did Brahma do to satisfy? That's an obvious question. That's correct. Okay.
Maybe Dhruva is thinking that I am a small boy.
Very good. One big Haribol for Pavan Krishna Prabhu. Yeah. So, Are Brahma, Swayambhuva Manu, what names you are speaking? Mother, you know who are they? I know who are they. They are very, very great souls. Imagine someone comes and says to Udit Prabhu that why don't you book a chartered aeroplane to Vrindavan for coming to Vrindavan Yatra? Chartered aeroplane? What Prabhuji is telling? Yeah, actually Mukesh Ambani goes always in chartered aeroplane. Prabhu, what you are telling? Okay, Mukesh Ambani goes in chartered airplane and you are telling me to take a chartered aeroplane or a chopper to Vrindavan and come to Vrindavan Yatra like that. Do you know what you are speaking, whom you are speaking, what you are telling? So Dhruva is also having what Pavan Krishna Prabhu is telling going on in his mind. What example? You are telling a right principle, but you are giving wrong examples, which is not fitting in my life. You are understanding? Sometimes you may take the right principle that, okay, imagine Udit Prabhu is not getting any flight ticket or train ticket. Arey Prabhuji, take a helicopter to Vrindavan Dham. Right principle, yes. Come to Yatra, take a helicopter. And example is given what? Mukesh Ambani takes helicopter, Modi ji takes helicopter, all the ministers are taking helicopter, so you can also take a helicopter. Say, Arey Prabhuji, your principle is right that I should come to Vrindavan Dham by somehow or other, but the example you are giving is looking very, very impractical. Because the people who are being mentioned, they are very, very great souls. They are exalted souls. And on top of it, they were in their advanced age. I am a small boy. You are able to understand? This is how you should read Srimad Bhagavatam by deliberation. This is called deliberation of Srimad Bhagavatam. What Dhruva would have, as soon as you put yourself in Dhruva's position, right? And when you put yourself in Dhruva's position, when Dhruva was heard from his mother that Suniti that is telling that worship Supreme Lord, naturally the question would come, ki are, then I will take birth from Suruchi. So that is the question is answered. And then naturally this question will come with these examples that do you think that I am in par with Brahma and Swayambhu Manu? They can please the Supreme Lord. They are so great. They are also great souls. I am a small boy. How can I please the Supreme Lord? And then this he will answer. Yes. We will see this. A little bit we'll increase the font. Yeah. 22. Tamev vatsasrayavritya vatsalam.
Tamev vatsasrayavritya
Tamev vatsasrayavritya vatsalam. Mumukshubhirmrigya padabja paddhatim. Ananya bhave nija dharma bhavite. Manasya vasthapya bhajasva purusham. Yeah, anyone else? Tameva vatsa shrayavritya vatsalam. Mumukshubhirmrigya padabja paddhatim. Ananya bhave nija dharma bhavite. Manasya bhastapya bhajasva purusham. Yeah, so it's a big purport by Srila Prabhupada. My dear boy, you should also take the shelter of Supreme Lord, who is very kind to his devotees. Persons seeking liberation from cycle of birth and death always take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord in devotional service. Becoming purified by executing your allotted occupation, just situate the Supreme Personality of Godhead in your heart and without deviating for a moment, engage always in his service. The system of Bhakti Yoga described by Queen Suniti to her son is the standard way of God realization. Everyone can continue in his constitutional occupational duties and at the same time keep the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart. This was also instructed by Lord himself to Arjuna. Go on fighting, but keep me within your mind. Yes, anyone can say which is the verse in Bhagavad Gita? Go on fighting.
8th chapter में है मा मनुस्मर युद्ध
मा मनुस्मर Yuddhacha. Go on fighting, but keep me within your heart. It's in the beginning of the 8th chapter it comes. That should be, and then Krishna says in the 8th chapter how to keep in his heart, and that very famous sloka comes. Sarvasya dhataram achintya rupam anoraniyam sa anusmaredyat. Anyone remembers that verse? Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. Krishna says, in this way you can remember me while doing your duties. That should be the motto of every honest person seeking perfection in Krishna consciousness. In this connection, Queen Suniti advised her that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Bhritya Vatsala, which indicates that he is very kind to his devotee. She said, you came to me crying, having been insulted by your stepmother, but I am unable to do any good for you. But Krishna is so kind to his devotees that if you go to him, then the combined kindness of millions of mothers like me will be surpassed by his affectionate and tender dealings. When everyone else fails to mitigate one's misery, Krishna is able to help the devotee. So, Queen Suniti also stressed that the process of approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not easy, but is sought by after great sages who are very advanced in spiritual realization. Queen Suniti also indicated by instruction that Dhruva Maharaj was only a small child, but it was not possible for him to purify by the way of Karma Kanda. But by the process of Bhakti Yoga, even a child less than 5 years old or anyone of any age can be purified. That is the special significance of Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, she advised him not to accept worship or any demigods, but simply to take to Supreme Personality of Godhead. As soon as one places the Supreme Lord within one's heart, everything becomes easy and successful. There are varieties of point here. So, the first one is that the worship of the Supreme Lord, or second point that is being mentioned. Satisfaction of Lord is very simple. Anyone can satisfy the Supreme Lord. It doesn't require any pre-qualification. No qualification required. So, second principle he is telling that Dhruva, don't think that you are a small boy, you cannot satisfy the Supreme Lord. Anyone can satisfy the Supreme Lord. And what example he is giving? He is giving the Supreme Lord is so kind, he is kind, his kindness is compared to millions. Hey, someone please switch sound, there is some sound coming. Please, Hare Krishna, Susma Mataji, how you came, and please mute. So, millions of mothers, right? So, anyone can give. Now, let's give some examples which Suniti has not given. Now, let's take some examples of where all Supreme Lord was pleased by anyone who was not having any qualification, who was having actually negative qualification, but Supreme Lord got pleased, or who didn't have any prerequisite or qualification, but Supreme Lord got pleased. Materially speaking, no qualification, but Supreme Lord was pleased. Anyone? Any example? Yeah, Sarja Mataji. Mrigari, very good. Sanjukta Mataji is telling Mrigari is a good example. Sabri also had no qualification. Yes, anyone? Jagai Madhai, Ajamil, okay. Britrasur, yes. Anyone else? Anyone else? No qualification, and the Supreme Lord is pleased by simple devotional service. Kubja, simple. Kubja came and just offered something. Sudama, yes. So in this way, there are so many examples of people who didn't had anything, but the Supreme Lord is pleased. So don't think, Dhruva, that it is very difficult to please the Supreme Lord. And the simplicity is mentioned. Pavan Krishna Prabhu is telling Gajendra. Yeah, Gajendra is also a very nice example. He is not even a human being, he is an animal. He pleased the Supreme Lord by simple. Gajendra's simplicity, just because it came, Gajendra's simplicity was, he took a lotus flower and he put it in the air and said, I don't know, whoever is the Supreme Lord, please come and rescue me. तो I don't know, बाबा कौन है इधर सब लोग आके सेल्फी खींच रहे हैं, making reels. All the demigods had also assembled, because this is happening not in earthly planet. This is happening in Trikud mountain, which is in demigod loka. So many demigods along with their wives were all had come to enjoy, have their honeymoon and in different. And when this incident happened, they were coming and taking reels to upload in their Facebook and YouTube, and all were waiting, and no, everyone was seeing the tamasa. And when this Gajendra said, Baba, what you are all doing? Rescue me. And then Gajendra took the lotus flower, and his simplicity was, because I don't know, Baba, who is the Supreme Lord? Come, boy. Don't you feel that I have to be rescued from this situation? So simple Gajendra was. He was not even knowing who is the Supreme Lord, just took out the lotus flower and tell whoever is Supreme, rescue me. Whoever you think. And as soon as he uttered that sloka, though all had come, but everyone gave way and the Supreme Lord came. And the Supreme Lord was coming, but his Garuda was going slow. And the Supreme Lord took Garuda on his back and came. Right? The Lord also said, I should also become simple. And I will also, the Lord also took the Garuda on his back and came. So this is how the Lord loves his devotees. Right? And the Lord is Bhritya Vatsala. Just like the mother, how much the mother loves. I have seen my mother, my goodness. It's like impossible to fathom the love of the mother. How much the mother is careful, always thinking about the son, how you are and what is happening in your life, what I can do. And so if anyone has experienced the love of mother, Dhruva Suniti is telling, if you have at all experienced my love, you multiply it to millions of times, and what you get is the love of Krishna. How much the Lord loves a living entity. And we have to understand that how much we have gone so far away from the Supreme Lord, not able to relate to his love. Right? We are able to relate with the love of our father, mother, brother, sister, son, daughter, grandfather, grandmother, but somehow or other the person who loves us millions of times more than all these personalities and relationships, we do not have feeling anything for him. Right? So Suniti is telling that you came running to me, but think that the Lord is the Supreme Lord. He is very, 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 very loving and caring. Very, very loving and caring. So what's the next question that Dhruva will ask? Okay, so it's very simple. Next question already I think some people have. How to worship. Okay, you are telling it is very simple. You tell me how to worship. What is that speciality of devotional service to Krishna that it becomes so simple? You're understanding? There are so many things, so many people you can worship. What is that thing that makes devotional service simple? So the next question is, where is that? Yeah, here. So the next question is, the third point is, how the Lord is, the devotional service is very simple. Simple means To be simple means to accept Krishna as the singular shelter. That's what Suniti Devi says. What is the definition of being simple? What is the definition of doing simple worship to the Supreme Lord? Is that just accept the Supreme Lord as your singular shelter, no one else. So this is what Suniti Devi will speak the last instruction. Oh, I think I didn't say it. Yeah. This is the last verse Suniti Devi is speaking. Nanyam tatah padma palasalochana.
Nanyam tatah padma palasalochana.
Dukkha chidam te mrigayami kanchana.
Dukkha chidam te mrigayami kanchana.
Yo mrigyate hasta grihita padmaya.
Yo mrigyate hasta grihita padmaya.
Shriye tare ranga bimrigyamanaya.
Shriye tare ranga bimrigyamanaya.
Nanyam tatha padma palasalochana.
Nanyam tatah padma palasalochana.
Okay. Dukkha chidam te mrigayami kanchana.
Dukkha chidam te mrigayami kanchana.
Yo mrigyate hasta grihita padmaya.
Yo mrigyate hasta grihita padmaya.
Sriye tare ranga bimrigyamanaya.
Shriye tare ranga vimrigyamanaya.
Now, Dhruva Maharaj, Suniti Devi has to give an example. Okay, you are telling that the Lord is the embodiment of all love of all the millions of mothers. So, who is the mother of entire creation? Okay, Srimati Radharani is not mother of, Srimati Radharani doesn't consider mother. Whenever it comes, she is the mistress of the creation and Lakshmi is the mother of the creation. Lakshmi is there, for becoming mother you have to be married. Radharani is not married, so she is the mistress. So Lakshmi Devi is the mother of the entire creation. Sriye tarer anga vimrigyamana. Shriya itarer anga vimrigyamana. Even Shriya, who is the mother of the entire creation, she is looking and searching for bimrigyamanaya. Bimrigyamanaya matlab searching. Searching or looking or seeking. She is the mother of all entire creation. Even she is seeking for the shelter of the Supreme Lord. So you have to understand how much love the Supreme Lord would be having if the mother of the entire creation is looking for the shelter of the Supreme Lord. Nanyam tatah padma palasalochanat. There is no one else, O Dhruva, who can satisfy you, who can mitigate your miseries, because even Lakshmi, if she wants to mitigate her miseries, she wants love and shelter, she is approaching the Supreme Lord, then you must also approach the Supreme Lord. Translation: My dear Dhruva, as I am concerned, I do not find anyone who can mitigate your distress but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose eyes are like lotus petals. Many demigods, such as Lord Brahma, seek the pleasure of Goddess of Fortune, but the Goddess of Fortune herself, with a lotus flower in her hand, is always ready to render service to the Supreme Lord. Suniti pointed out herewith that the benediction received from the Supreme Personality of Godhead and received from demigods are not on equal level. Foolish person say that no matter whom one worships, one will get the same result. So there is some type of people who say that whomever you worship, you will get the same result. You worship anyone, सब एक ही भगवान के मूर्त हैं, like that they say. In fact, Bhagavad Gita, it is also said that the benediction received from the demigods are all temporary and are meant for the less intelligent. In other words, because demigods are all materialistically conditioned soul, although they are situated in very exalted positions, their benediction cannot be permanent. So these demigods are also conditioned souls only. They are not great souls. They are also conditioned, but they are put in some exalted position. Permanent benediction is spiritual benediction. Since a spirit soul is eternal, it is also said in Bhagavad Gita that only persons who have lost their intelligence go to worship the demigods. Therefore, Suniti told her son that he should not seek the mercy of demigods, but should directly approach the Supreme Lord to mitigate his mercy. So, in this way, the last point that Suniti Devi is telling, what we wrote, is simplicity means taking singular shelter of Krishna. Whatever happens, oh Krishna, you are only shelter. If I become poverty stricken, oh Krishna, I have become poverty stricken, help me. If I have become diseased, oh Krishna, I have become diseased, please help me. If I have become, it's not that if I am poverty stricken, then I go to Kuber or Lakshmi. If I am diseased, then I worship the sun god. If I want a good wife, then I worship Uma, Parvati or Lord Shiva. Oh Lord, whatever condition I am, you are the only shelter. Na anyat. This is the meaning of simplicity. So the definition of simplicity is that na anyat saranam. There is no anya saranam. You are the only shelter. If I am financially problematic, you are the shelter. If I am physically problem, you are the shelter. If in spiritual problem, you are the shelter. If in any material or spiritual situation, problem or whatever it may be, oh Lord, you are my only shelter. I do not aspire for taking shelter of anyone else, of either of this world or of the higher planetary system of the demigods or anything. This is definition of simplicity. So, and that is why Dhruva Maharaj was successful, because he developed this utter simplicity. And sometimes it is easier for uneducated people to practice devotional service to Hari, because they are very simple. Right? So simplicity does not mean that like we see sometimes some villages are there, today they will go to Sombar, they will go to Lord Shiva. They are very simple. They will Lord Shiva, they will go to Sombar. And Mangalwar, they will go to Hanumanji. Budhwar, they will do the Surya Puja. Guruvar, they will do the Lakshmi Puja. And Friday, there was nothing. So some people started Santoshi Ma Puja on the Friday. There was nothing, the new concept. And when Santoshi Ma Puja started, I was feeling so bad. I was telling my mother, what nonsense this Santoshi Ma, where it is mentioned. And my mother used to not be able to answer what is the Santoshi Ma Brat, that Friday it started. All the ladies started keeping. How many of you know this Friday Santoshi Ma Brat? Yeah. And then some sadhus would give them something, and usko pani mein dal ke usko phul jata tha. Something weird thing they used to do. And my Mausi ji was great fan of the Santoshi Ma Brata Friday. And then Sanivar is Sani Brata, and also Hanumanji, and some people worship Sani Brata. And Ravivar they enjoy. Ravivar they do. Ravivar is for eating non-veg, and we have to eat some fish and all. That is actually, so in this way, now it looks very simple, you see. So no one should be offended. Everyone has to be worshipped. Everyone, and then they will take some flowers to a temple. Sarva, what did they say? Sarva. They say some terminology. In that temple, everyone would be there, and they'll take you some flowers, and then you Lord Shiva, Shiv Parivar, and then there is Ram Darbar, then there is Radha Krishna, then there is Lakshmi Narayan. Then you keep on offering everyone, and it looks very simple. Yes, correct? We do not want to offend anyone, but the definition of simplicity given by Suniti Devi is that, Dhruva, you just simply accept the Lord's shelter, That is what is the definition of simplicity. Simplicity doesn't mean that you take anyone's shelter. Today this problem is there, I'll take this shelter. Today tomorrow that problem happens, I'll take that shelter. Simplicity means take only the singular shelter of Krishna. Krishna, you are my only shelter. Na anyat padma palasa lochanat. With other than Krishna, there is no other shelter. This is the definition of simplicity. And when one does devotional service like this, then what happens? Then a nice thing happens. So we will see again the thing. Okay. So success comes when we satisfy the Lord. Satisfaction of the Lord is very simple, and simplicity means taking singular shelter of the Lord. And when one does, when one performs such devotional service, then what is the result? He will get all success in life. Yeah, that's what we started, right? He will get all success. So if you write, if one is simple, then he will be able to satisfy the Lord. He will be able to render service to the Lord or do some devotional service, worship the Lord, and then he will be able to satisfy the Supreme Lord, and by that he will get success in the life, whether it is material success or spiritual success. So the next question comes that when one does devotional service may be very simple, but we need to make devotional service sacred. So what is the difference between devotional service, just doing devotional service like this, and what is the meaning of doing devotional service when it becomes purified? Is when devotional service becomes purified, our success is in satisfaction of the Lord, not that satisfying the Lord will bring me success. You are able to understand both the statements? You are able to understand both the sentence? To be simple means to understand that what is the definition of simple? This is the definition of simple. Satisfying the Supreme Lord will bring me all success. If I satisfy the Supreme Lord like Brahma, like Swayambhuva Manu, and because the Lord is Bhritya Vatsala, he is loving and caring, he is so kind like millions of mothers, his devotional service is very simple. If I simply, with singular attention, satisfy the Supreme Lord, that will bring all success in my life, spiritual and material. This is simple. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has advised us not to practice devotional service with this simplicity that I get everything by satisfying the Supreme Lord. Devotional service has to be performed with a sacred reason, purpose, that understanding that my only success in my life is satisfying the Supreme Lord. That is the success. If the Supreme Lord is satisfied, I consider myself as successful. Not that by satisfying Supreme Lord, I get some success. But if Supreme Lord is satisfied, I feel that I have done all the things in my life. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this definition of devotional service, that is not that devotional service has to be performed so that by satisfying the Lord you get some success in life. Rather, one should consider, if the Lord is satisfied with me, I do not have anything else to think. I feel that I am successful, whether I am poverty stricken or financially well off. If Lord is satisfied, I am successful. If I am in healthy body or in the bad health, if the Lord is satisfied, I am successful. If whether I am in whatever material situation, which is in adverse or prosperous, if the Lord is satisfied with me, my life is successful. So one should understand that if Lord, Hari and Guru and Vaishnavas are satisfied with me, my life is successful. Only such personalities will be able to deliver themselves from the material world. Those who consider that the success of life is satisfaction of Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas. Only those persons will get their NOC certificate from the material world. That success in life is satisfaction of Hari and Guru and Vaishnavas. And Hari's satisfaction comes in our life in the as a way that Guru is satisfied. If Guru is satisfied with us, Vaishnavas are satisfied with us, we understand that Hari is satisfied with us. And if Hari is satisfied with us, then that is success. Whether I be failure externally in the world, but if Hari is satisfied, I actually am successful. And how Hari is satisfied? By Guru, by satisfaction of Guru. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado yasya aprasadat nagati kutopi dhayan stuvam stasya yasyastri sandhyams vande guru shri charanarvindam. One should understand that the success of life is to satisfy the Supreme Lord, and to satisfy the Supreme Lord, one has to satisfy the Guru and Vaishnavas. Yasya prasadat. Only by the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, the supreme satisfaction of the Guru, the Supreme Lord is satisfied. So in this way, devotional service is very simple, but we must understand that we have to rise above this simplicity. It is very simple, yes, it's not wrong, nothing wrong to take shelter of the Lord for success in life. Nothing wrong to take shelter of the Lord in an adverse situation, nothing wrong. All our great souls have shown that path. Dhruva has taken shelter of the Lord, Prahlad has taken shelter of the Lord, Brajavasis took shelter of the Lord in adverse situation. That is simplicity, just to take singular shelter of the Lord in any situation. But we become sacred when we consider that whatever situation may be, I just want to see that my success in life is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. If Lord is satisfied, I can remain in poverty-stricken way for millions of lifetimes. If that satisfies the Lord, I can remain unhealthy throughout my life. Okay, Krishna, you are satisfied in this, let me remain like this. Oh Krishna, if you are satisfied that I remain like this, I am happy that you are happy. That is the thought process, meditation of a pure soul, a pure devotee. That, oh Lord, you be satisfied, you be happy. That is my only happiness and concern. I do not want to get out of this or do something, this, that, ye, wo, all the material success, all the spiritual success. I don't care for this. If you are satisfied, my life is successful. So this is pure devotional service. Okay, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Just to revise today's class, we'll just go back to our whiteboard. So we discussed about how Dhruva Maharaj is asking the question that, oh, are you telling that worship the Supreme Lord, and by worshipping the Supreme Lord, then I have to take birth again in the womb of Suruchi? The Suniti is telling, no, no, no. If you satisfy the Supreme Lord is so powerful. Brahma didn't took birth from Suruchi's womb. Manu didn't took birth of Suruchi's womb. They all satisfy the Supreme Lord. They got such exalted position. You can also get such exalted position, success by satisfying the Supreme Lord. But then the next question is, how can I satisfy? I'm a small boy. They were great souls. Well, satisfaction of Supreme Lord is very simple. No qualification. And Supreme Lord is kind like millions of mothers. So don't worry. Okay. So what is the definition of simplicity? Definition of simplicity is just take singular shelter of Krishna. Don't divert your attention to any other devata, nothing else. Just take singular shelter of Krishna. That is the simplicity. So by taking singular shelter of Krishna, one becomes simple. By being simple, one can satisfy the Supreme Lord. And by being satisfying the Supreme Lord, one will get success. So this is, we are doing devotional service to get some success. But the real success is in satisfaction of the Lord. So that is pure devotional service. Okay. And we will see ahead that what will happen. Dhruva Maharaj, when he leaves home, then at that time Dhruva Maharaj will decide that we'll leave home, because he will ask, mother, where do I worship the Lord? Mother will say, simple mother will say, I have seen that the great sages go to the forest. You also go to the forest and worship the Supreme Lord, like that. And then Dhruva will decide to go to the forest. And what happens in the forest, we will see next class. Okay. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Mahapurana ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, and there any question? Yeah, so many questions. Okay. Yes, Udit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thanks for the wonderful class. My question is, in Grihastha Ashram, is it possible for me to perform pure devotional service? Because whatever endeavors we do, they're always, externally we may say that, oh Lord, we are surrendered to you. But I know internally, subtly, there is some material desire which is there. If something goes wrong with my family or with my job or something, I will be in distress. So Prabhuji, that's the question. Kindly help to clarify.
Okay, so in Grihastha Ashram, is it possible to perform devotional service out of purity? In Lord Chaitanya's pastime, there is a beautiful story about Mahaprakas Leela. So in Mahaprakas Leela, the Lord is actually explaining about different devotees and giving personal attention to different devotees. So the Lord called for his teacher Gangadas Pandit. And the Lord called for his teacher Gangadas Pandit, who is a pure devotee of the Lord. And the Lord said, Gangadas, do you remember Gangadas? Do you remember? The Muslims were attacking, and you had heard reports that the Muslims were coming and abusing the wives and daughters of everyone. And you were, along with your daughter and wife, you were running hither and thither to save yourself from the Muslim attack. Do you remember Gangadas? At that time you came to the Ganga and you were standing at the Ganga river, and your wife and daughter, they didn't know swimming, and then there was no boat. Do you remember Gangadas? And then Gangadas was crying, and yes, my Lord, I remember how desperate I was because the Muslims were attacking. And I was very desperate. Do you remember Gangadas? You prayed for me, for the boat, for some rescue. And I came as the boat, and I came as the boatman, Gangadas. But you didn't recognize me, but I came to help you. And as soon as Gangadas heard that actually it was the Lord who came as the boatman and the boat, Immediately Gangadhar started crying and falling at the feet of the Lord. And then the Lord shows some special darshan to Gangadhar. And then Lord calls Haridas Thakur. And then Lord says, Haridas, do you remember all the people were beating you in 22 marketplaces and you are simply remembering me, Do you know, Haridas? It was I who came and became a covering on your body, and it was I who got all the beatings. That is why you were not experiencing any pain. And then the Lord moves about, and he shows his back, and it's all marks there that and as soon as Haridas Thakur sees the whip marks on the back of Lord Gauranga, Haridas Thakur falls at the feet of Lord, says, oh my Lord, please forgive me, that it is because of my sinful activities that you have to go through all these suffering. So, and then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives darshan of, I think, Lakshmi Narayan or something to Haridas Thakur. In this way, the Mahaprakash Leela is a beautiful section where Lord shows how he gives his mercy. So we have to understand that pure devotional service is not that we are in adverse situation, we cannot pray to Krishna. We have to understand that we pray to Krishna at all times, in adversity and prosperity. We pray to Krishna and we understand that, oh Krishna, you are our only shelter, and if you, whatever you desire, let it happen. If your desire is that I endure this situation and go through this pain, let it happen. If your desire is that I have to come out of this situation, let it happen. Let your will be done, O my Lord, not my will be done. So all these pure devotees have also faced severe adverse situations. Recently we were reading, myself, Kushal Bihari Prabhu and Veer Narasimha Prabhu, we are reading the 10th canto. We were discussing how actually currently we are having democracy, and how democracy is much better than a dictatorship or a monarch who is, like Kamsa. Or we were discussing about how Bhumi Devi is coming and praying to Brahma that these monarchs are creating problem for me. So we have to understand right now the situation is democracy. Some 400 years before, when Lord Chaitanya appeared, there was so much of atrocities by the Muslim kings. They would really trouble. So it's not that if we are in a troublesome situation, we don't take shelter of the Lord, and if we take shelter of the Lord, we don't become a pure devotee. Pure devotees have also shown the path that they have taken the shelter of the Lord in every situation, whether in troublesome situation or prosperous situation. But our... Okay, Hare Krishna. Yeah, please mute. So, but the definition of pure devotional service is that, oh Lord, let thy be done. You have put me, I have been put in this situation because of my previous karmic situations. So, let me tolerate it, and if you want to mitigate it, mitigate, and if you want me to tolerate, I am anyway ready to tolerate it. That's what Brahmaji is praying. Tatenu kampam susumikshamanam bhunjana evatma kriptam vipakam. So this is the definition of pure devotee. A pure devotee is not that if some distressful situation comes, oh no, I will not pray to Krishna now, this will be impure devotional service. It's not like that. So we should understand that as in whether one is a grihastha or whether one is a brahmachari, whatever, we need this body, we need certain amount of material facilities to perform our devotional service. So Biswanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, when there was a forest fire devouring all the Brajavasis after Kaliya Leela, Biswanath Chakravarti Thakur writes a beautiful commentary to the verse, when the Brajavasis go to pray to the Supreme Lord for rescue when the fire was devouring them. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes a beautiful commentary telling that how come the Brajavasis, they are pure devotees, they are fearful of the fire and going and taking shelter of the Lord. Is this pure devotional service? The Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur asks all the readers. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, yes, this is pure devotional service, that the Brajavasi is going to Krishna taking shelter of the Lord when there is a forest fire, because the Brajavasis were thinking that if we die, who will serve Krishna? So they were not thinking that I have to leave. They are thinking, if we die, how Krishna will live? So in this way, pure devotional service, the activities may be the same. The activities of taking shelter of Krishna may be the same for a pure devotee and also a non-devotee and also a semi-devotee. A non-devotee also, whenever there is, I have seen all the people when the flight takes off, then they will do like this, and then the flight lands, they will do like this. All these people, are they pure devotees? They are also taking shelter of the Lord, And then those who are semi-devotees like all of us, we also take shelter of the Lord, and the pure devotees also take shelter of the Lord in distressful situation. But the intention is, if I die, if something happens to me, who will serve you, O Lord? Please tell me who will serve you. We do not want to die so that we can continue serving you. Otherwise, how much distressful you will become by seeing us in this distress. And that is why we want that you take us out of the distress. So in this way, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains what is the mood of the Brajavasis when they take shelter, when the demons attack them. Definitely, we cannot imitate this mood right now, but we must understand that whenever there is a distressful situation, we should take shelter of the Supreme Lord, thinking that, oh Lord, if this distressful situation continues, it will become very difficult for me to to worship you, to love you, to serve you. And if you so desire, please take me out of the distressful situation. But if you think that it is better for me to be in this distressful situation, I am ready to tolerate it. So that should be prayer in our level. We should pray like this. But we must at all times take shelter of the Lord without thinking whether it is pure devotional service, not devotional service, mixed devotional service, whatever it is. We take shelter of the Lord, and Lord will purify our heart, and slowly we will, Lord will reveal how He is satisfied. And on top of it, we should also, in specific situations where we are confused whether we should pray to the Lord like this or not, we should take shelter of the Guru. And with the permission of the spiritual master, we can pray to the Lord. When Srila Prabhupada was on deathbed, almost about to leave the world, all the disciples, they asked Srila Prabhupada that, Srila Prabhupada, can we pray to the Supreme Lord to make you all right? Srila Prabhupada said, no, that would be mixed devotional service. You pray to the Supreme Lord that if, oh my Lord, if you at all want our spiritual master to be alive, if you so desire, if that is your will, please make it happen. Like that you can pray. So this Prabhupada said how we should pray to the Supreme Lord. So in that way, if there is any confusion, we should consult how we can pray to the Supreme Lord. Okay. Yes. Who else had raised hand? Yeah, and Sabyasachi Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu,
yeah.
So, taking you from Udit Prabhu's question, my question is also similar to that, where in the reference of Mahabharata, both Arjuna and Duryodhana came to Krishna. One wanted energy, which is material success, and one wanted Krishna. Second, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that Ami Bigyo ke Vishay Kana Digo, Nija Charanamriti Vishay Bulayo. Third reference where Prabhupada quotes in Science of Self-Creation that our only business is to love God, not to ask God for our necessity. And secondly, quotes that, first class religion teaches us how to love God without any motive. If I serve Lord, a God for some profit, that is business. That is not love. Now, keeping it all this total, then Bhagavad Gita 9.22, Krishna is saying, Yoga Kama. So, is it right for a neophyte devotee to ask something when he or she starts bhakti? Because Dhruva Maharaj also, when Lord came, he also said, Swami Kritartyasya Barang Nayacha. He did not ask. So how we should translate it into action?
Yeah, correct. How that's a nice question. How to translate, because in the beginning we do require certain material necessities and all. So this is what exactly the subject matter what Narad Muni and Dhruva Maharaj. So there is Narad Dhruva Sambad, which we'll be doing after 2 classes maybe. I think next class would be about Narad Muni meeting Dhruva, and I think next 2 classes will be discussing exactly on the same topic. So we will answer this in that section. This is what is the topic of Narad Dhruva Sambad. Who is qualified to act like this? Act like this means that no material necessities. So who is qualified, and all those things we can discuss in that. So we can keep it in the car park, this question. We will discuss this elaborately. Last week also Sunita Mataji asked the same type of question, that okay, is it that Suniti Devi is telling to Dhruva, just tolerate, endure, and so is it that whoever comes and exploits us, we should not seek justice? Right? Some question to that effect Sunita Mataji was also asking. And the same question in Hindi class also one lady asked the same question. So Prabhuji, so what you are telling, people insult us and we are just okay, very nice, Mahatma Gandhi's Pantha. So do you think you do like this? So there is a nice discussion between Narada and Dhruva, and we'll take it very 1111 sloka. We'll take 1111 class. Very nice. Narad Muni is telling to Dhruva, and Dhruva is completely rejecting Narad Muni's instructions, telling Narad Muni, I think you are telling to a wrong person the right philosophy. So then we will see that how Narad Muni instructs Dhruva Maharaj. Okay, so we will discuss that elaborately in that section.
Okay, so just now it also contradicts your famous quote: expectations minus reality.
Yeah, we have that expectation, and if we have a lot of expectation, then we get frustrated. But what is that reality, we will see. Dhruva Maharaj is going to tell about what is living in reality. We will see that in the next class. Okay, yes. Poonam Mataji and then Sweta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Dandavad.
Thank you for such a beautiful class. Prabhuji, I am very inspired by the character of Suniti. So I was just thinking that all this while we were discussing what is Suniti's thought process. So I want to know what next Suniti is going to do. Like she already is taking shelter of Krishna and instructing her son to take shelter of Krishna. When her son goes to the forest and she's like not actually under shelter of her husband and co-wife also. So what she's going to do.
Okay. So let's understand that let's not demonize Uttanapad so much. Okay. Uttanapad is son of Swayambhuva Manu. Let's not so much demonize him. He's a great soul, very great soul. Just that he was loving, he was not like a husband of Kali Yuga having two wives, and and somehow the one wife is just holding her stomach and not getting any food, and drinking only water once in a day, and then the other wife is enjoying in Los Angeles and New York and Niagara Falls. So Uttanapad was not like that. Understand, Suniti Devi had all necessities of life. What Suniti Devi didn't got was the attention of Uttanapad, which any wife would like to have from the husband. That's the only thing. She got, Suruchi got all the attention, all the affection, but Uttanapad would satisfy all the needs of Suniti, but not satisfy the need for love and affection. Right? So let's not demonize Uttanapad that, oh, maybe Dhruva has left and now Uttanapad would start atrocities and everything. Suniti Devi, you see, all the maids told Suniti Devi. Then Suniti Devi also had maid servants. It's not that Suniti Devi is washing the vessels and and telling like this, oh, hi Suruchi. It's not like that. Let's not demonize Uttanapad. Is a very great soul, but he was weak towards Suruchi, and he would always remain in the palace of Suruchi, and he would never come to the palace of Suniti, but he will provide all the necessities to Suniti, but except love and affection, right? So Suniti Devi, over the years, by not getting love and affection, she thought that let me take and get the love and affection from Krishna. And that's what she taught to Dhruva. That you see, I have not got any love and affection from my husband, but I am looking for the love and affection from Krishna. Though I have got all my facilities met, but I have not got any love and affection. So I am looking for the love and affection from Krishna. You also do the same, Dhruva. So it's not that when Dhruva leaves, immediately atrocity starts in the life of Suniti. It's not like that. Uttanapad is a very, very great soul. Later on, we will see Uttanapad's reaction that, Arey, where is my son? Where is my son? Narad Muni will come and inform, Arey, your son is going to become a Mahabhagavat. And then Uttanapad becomes very happy, but he becomes very upset that how I behaved like this. I got so attached to Suruchi and I neglected Suniti. So Uttanapad will also change eventually, but he's not a demon, he's a great soul. Uttanapad is son of Swayambhuva Manu. He is Amsa. He is also Amsa of Krishna. He is Sakti Amsa of Krishna. In the beginning it is said. But we have to understand that this is material world, right? So, okay, so nothing is, and Suniti Devi is definitely very inspiring character. And just see, Suniti Devi didn't perform any devotional service. At the end, you will see Suniti Devi will go back to Godhead first. Before Dhruva Maharaj's plane, Suniti Devi's plane will be ahead. So we will see that. Okay. Hare Krishna. No offense to Uttanapad Maharaj. Hare Krishna. And no offense to Suruchi Devi also. She will also get eventually transformed. Vedic life means people, modern lifestyle, modern thought processes, one cannot commit mistake. One should not commit mistake. One must not commit mistake. Vedic life means that one can commit mistake, but one should always atone for the mistake. Prayaschita. That is Vedic life. And if one atones for the mistake and purifies himself, then he is again considered a very great saint. Right? So that we have to understand. Yeah, Sweta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. My question is, with due respect, atrocities में भगवान को याद करना, उनको पुकारना बहुत आसान होता है. And हम पुकार सकते हैं, ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है. Taking shelter is very easy. But when you have everything and material energy, आपने अभी recently lesson दिया कि material energy अपना अंडा डालती है, devotional service comes out. So what a devotee, क्योंकि उसको सबको handle करना है. When he is in the empowerment of material energy, but practicing devotional service along with the all duties, जो प्रभु का क्वेश्चन था. तो where the demarcation when we understand कि हमारा devotional service hamper नहीं हो रहा है, या how I am not affected by the material energy and I am fully inclined with the service, and the understanding, I think, made myself clear.
Yeah, so basically, if I understand, the question is you're asking that how do I know that whether I am getting affected by material energy or I am doing the devotional service properly. Yeah. That is why we should stay in association of devotees. Association of devotees will tell us that, inform us whether we are affected by the material energy or not. And if we are submissive to the Guru and Vaishnavas, they will feel comfortable to tell us. Sometimes if we are not submissive, they will not feel comfortable. I remember so many people, I know that they are doing wrong, but they are not submissive. They are not ready to accept the fact that they are going wrong. So I have refrained from telling them that you are going wrong, because they do not want to accept the fact that they are going wrong. So, so material energy is definitely dangerous, but if we have this understanding that if someone is telling me, someone who is my well-wisher, a Vaishnava or a Guru Varga is telling me that I am going wrong, I should have that humility to accept that yes, maybe I am going wrong. Maybe. At least that maybe will save us from material energy. If that maybe also doesn't come, all the devotees are envious of me, they are finding faults with me, they are simply telling, then who can save us? So, so many people who have faced difficulties in spiritual life because of material energy is they at least didn't had maybe in their dictionary. That maybe these devotees are telling that I am in Maya and I need to take help, and I am telling that I don't need help. So maybe I am in Maya. So that's why Guru and Vaishnavas, we should be submissive. Susrusuvi takshanat. Bhagavatam begins with this understanding that dharma projita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam vastu sivadam tapotrayonunmulanam Srimad Bhagavatam Mahamuni Krite Kimba Pare Ishware Sadyo Hridi Avarudhyate Shushrusuvi Takshanat. Susrusu, submissive. Sadyo Hridi Avarudhyate. The Lord becomes avarudhya. Rudhya matlab suffocated. The Lord becomes completely blocked in our heart. He is not able to come out of our heart. Avarudhyate. Atra kritivi. By doing this act. Atra kritivi. Kritivi matlab doing act. What act if you do? Then the Lord will become avarudhyate. Susrusuvi, by submissive hearing. So submission to the Guru and Vaishnavas, submission to the Guru of what instructions he is giving us from Srimad Bhagavatam is what will help us to capture the Lord within our heart. And when Lord is there within our heart, there is no question of Maya. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andhakar. Jahan Krishna, taha nahi Mayar Adhikar. Wherever there is Krishna, there is no Maya Adhikar. And if we put Krishna in our heart, then there will be no question of Maya. So how to put Krishna in our heart? Susrusuvi takshana tatkshanat. In that moment, as soon as we are submissive to the Guru and Vaishnavas, that moment itself, we will capture the Lord in our heart. So that is why we should understand at no point in our life we should think that I don't have to become submissive. So whenever we are submissive, the Lord is in our heart. Whenever we become not submissive, rebellious, the Lord leaves the heart of a rebellious soul. So we have to understand that our only hope is we are submissive to the Vaishnavas and Guru. We are understanding that Vaishnavas and Guru are our only shelter, they are our only well-wisher. They are telling everything for my good only, and never revolt against them, rebel them, thinking that, oh, why they are telling like this, why my Guru is telling like this, he doesn't understand me. Okay, so then if we think that Guru doesn't understand us and he is giving wrong instruction, what is the hope of that person? Susru subhi takshanat. So one who wants the Lord to be there and not get captured by Maya, susru subhi, what is mentioned is submissiveness. This is the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the beginning instruction. There are two instructions in this verse. Nirmatsaranam satam, that Srimad Bhagavatam and Lord can be accessed by the non-envious person. So this is qualification to read Srimad Bhagavatam. The word starts, Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. That one who has left all other dharma and who has become non-envious can access Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the qualification of accessing Srimad Bhagavatam. You have to become non-envious, you have to give up all other duties. But then one may understand how to do these two things in life. I am envious now and I have not given up all my duties. So then how I will understand Srimad Bhagavatam? Susrusivi kshattakshanat. Okay, you have not given up all your duties, you are still envious, you become at least submissive. If you become submissive, tat kshanat, at that moment, the Lord will give His mercy. So that's what Srimad Bhagavatam, in the second sloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, explains this subject matter. That by becoming submissive to Guru and Vaishnavas, we actually we bring the Lord, Supreme Lord, within our heart, within our capture. Okay, so try to remember this verse from the second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharma pravojita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavamatra vastu sivadam tapotrayan mulanam Srimad Bhagavatam Mahamuni Krite Krimba Pare Ishware Sadhyo Hridya Varudhyate Atra Kritivi Sushrusubhi Takshanat. Sushrusubhi Takshanat. As soon as we are submissive, Takshanat, at that very moment, Krishna becomes captured in our heart. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam says. So simple, right? Krishna concept very simple. Just become submissive to the Guru and Vaishnavas, then finished. Okay. It looks very simple, but very, very difficult to follow, because our ego comes in our life and then we think, I have been practicing for so many years devotional service. I know what devotional service is, what this Guru will tell, what these Vaishnavas will tell. Then we land up into problem. We become anath. We become anath. Okay. From sanath, we become anath. Unfortunate. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Guru Sisya Sampradaya ki jai, Srimati Suniti Devi ki jai, Dhruva Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna.